and social equity entrepreneurs that otherwise would have invested in a free market approach to the retail. The lease of each fine wine and good spirit would require renegotiation to account for the sale of a federally illegal substance in the leased property. The cost to relocate and retrofit locations would be prohibitive to success, causing further unwarranted delay in the execution of the adult use rollout for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania wine and spirit stores do not have the appropriate square footage to properly serve consumers or store the volume of products required to meet the variety of demand in both the alcohol and cannabis product categories. And even tied into that would be the security issues that would be required to store the cannabis products, much like the medical industry. Now, when it comes to jobs, while the PLCB would need to hire new employees to execute sales of adult use, the proposal will not create anywhere near as many private sector jobs as a new network of regulated businesses. So I don't view this as a small business friendly proposal either. And the small business free market approach to adult use cannabis is very dear to me. I think the state being involved in selling potentially cannabis and alcohol is just a wrong message to send to our citizens. We also have objections from the beer, wine, and distilled spirit stakeholders. And while the alcohol industry is generally supportive of the legalization of cannabis, the idea of sharing already limited shelf space with a federally illegal product is sure to be met with logistical and business-related objections. One of the other components of this bill that I do not like is the fact that it's going to be run under the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. I have proposed that we have a Pennsylvania Cannabis Control Board, and I think that it's become clear that we absolutely need an entity like the Pennsylvania Cannabis Control Board, obviously yet to be created. When one simply drives through your own hometown right now and look at all the vape shops and smoke shops and gas stations that are virtually selling unregulated cannabis products right now, they are proliferating across the state. No age limits. You can just, a 16-year-old kid can walk in and virtually buy cannabis right now in Pennsylvania. We desperately need a Cannabis Control Board. So that's pretty much what I have to say. I'm sure there'll be more comments forthcoming. Hang on. So I will now open it up to my fellow Senate members if they have questions, comments. Senator Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have been kind of reading through this, and the one thing that I raised a little bit of concern for me was that in the state store model, you know, it's still federally classified illegal substance, and therefore there's banking regulations, and independent federally insured banks cannot use their transactions. So I don't know how then the Pennsylvania State Treasury would be able to be involved in the sale of a federally illegal substance. So with that, on top of the fact that I don't know how, I don't see it anywhere in this bill how we're going to pay for the brick and mortar stores throughout the state. As of right now, I'm going to be a no on this bill.
Senator Ward.
Building on what Senator Robinson just said, how do we pay state employees with money that is coming from a federally illegal entity or action? How do we pay state employees? We're going to pay them in cash? I mean, how are you going to pay them? Yeah, I'm a no. Thank you.
Do you want to go next, or Lisa?
Lisa, you can go.
Senator Boscola.
Oh, thanks. Let me be clear, like, I really do support recreational use of cannabis. In fact, if we would have had the street Laughlin bill, I would be supporting it. I really wish you would have offered the amendment today. That would have been great. Are you going to do it in the future?
Well, we just aren't ready.
You're not ready yet, okay. So in my area, the constituents that I represent are basically in favor, you can go across the bridge into Jersey, right, and purchase it legally. So for me, this is a no-brainer, but this bill is not the one that I can support today. I don't think it's a serious attempt to advance legalizing marijuana legislation, and I know it has no chance of passing the Senate. So until we get a little bit more serious and you show me a bill that can pass the Senate and we can all support, I'll be there for you on this issue. I just can't do it today. I need a better bill. And for the record, the process on how we, last night just learned this bill was coming up to a vote. The whole process on how this was handled is wrong. And therefore, I'm a no vote for this instance in this committee with this bill today.
Thank you, Senator Boscola. Senator Tartaglione?
Thank you. I did find out about this meeting at 8 o'clock last night. Didn't give us much notice. The way that we are looking at it, this bill is here. We need to sit down, all four caucuses, and come up with something that we can all live with. I support the street Laughlin bill. This is a start, and we can build on this. Think of it as a vehicle that we can use.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Senator Flynn, did you have comments?
Yes. As people move out of the Keystone State year in and year out, okay, as we're the last to come to this important issue, all our neighboring states have already done this, basically. Ohio did it. So that lets you know where we're at in Pennsylvania when it comes to new revenue sources to budget a $2 billion deficit. It's time we get this done. If you go to Franklin County, if you go to Armstrong County, you go to Philadelphia County, the majority of people want to see legal marijuana for adult use. That's what the polls say. So it's time we in the Pennsylvania Senate do what the people want. And I know it's a huge process, but naming bridges gets old. Let's do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Flynn. Any further comments from the committee members? I just have a couple closing comments before we call the roll on the bill here. I think there's certainly space for compromise. I think this was, certainly not my favorite version of an adult use bill. I think most of the people in this room know that. I've been pretty clear about that. I think there's room for discussion. I believe that if there's a path to getting adult use cannabis passed, the governor himself is going to have to roll his sleeves up and help do some of the work. I have not seen that yet, but hopefully we can get there. And I know it's going to be a vigorously discussed process. So I look forward to working with everybody in this room to try and get this, a passable version through the Senate, through the House, and off to the governor. So thank you. Taylor, can you call the roll?
Boscola? No. Ferry? Flynn? Aye. Fontana? Proxy aye. Kiefer? No. Pennycook? No. Picozzi?
No.
Robinson? No. Tartaglione? Ward?
No.
Laughlin?
No. With the vote of 3 ayes to 7 nays, this bill fails and the committee is in recess to call the chair. Thank you.